Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Wounded Healer, where we make the human experience more enjoyable. I'm your host, Keith, and today we're going to talk self-care. Before we get into that, though, I kind of want to give some explanation about what I've been doing, where I've been, and why there's been such a dry spell with the podcast. I have very good reasons. One, schoolwork. Schoolwork got busy. I finished up some classes. For those of you that know, I'm still pursuing a psychology degree, finishing that up. I'm pretty proud of myself, learning a lot, being able to apply it. It's been awesome. Just being a dad, I actually have a job, so I work full time, which keeps me busy. And probably one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me, once in a lifetime opportunity, I was presented with the opportunity to work with the #1 rated human behavior expert on a book that they are writing. And that book will be coming out soon. It was an amazing experience. I don't even know what to say or how to explain it. The few months that I was able to work on the project, I'd learned so much that I feel like in 2 months, I leveled up with years of knowledge and experience, just compounded it. Yeah, I don't even know how to explain it. It was just amazing. And it's not my place to share any more than that at the moment, but once the book is published and everything is out there, I can talk about my involvement and share some of the things that I was able to learn and apply. But don't you worry, everything that I learned has already made me better, and it's already impacted the people around me, which is just completely amazing. I can't even explain how good that feels, knowing that, you have the ability to just be that much more impactful to the people around you. And I've met some awesome people through the applied behavior research community. Just amazing. Like I said, it was a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm grateful and thankful that I got to experience it. I think it's going to lead to some bigger and brighter things in the future for me. But more to come on that. So exciting stuff. And really just kind of spending some time focusing on using what I've learned on myself. I think practicing it will help me explain it and help me help others do the same. So it's kind of something I've been doing. It's kind of been like an experimental phase for me. And pretty neat stuff. Which has led me to the self-care. I meet a lot of people throughout the day, like we all do. Whether or not you interact with those people, that's based on you. But there's always going to be people around. And if you talk to those folks, I think you can notice that there's always just something. And the more you get to know people, the more you realize that it's rare that we take care of ourselves like we would take care of someone else. And I think as a parent, you have a sick kid, you will do anything and everything to assure that they feel better. However, when you do not feel good, you pretend like there's nothing wrong. You put off those doctor's appointments. You get up, you still go to work. And yes, I'm speaking about myself like I always do, but I'm pretty sure that everyone else is kind of the same way. And you're not a priority. We never prioritize ourselves and our self needs. And one simple thing that I have learned over the last couple months is prioritizing myself, and not in a selfish way, but in a self-preserving way, to make me better tomorrow for the people around me. Leading by example, some would say, setting yourself up for success, just moving forward in life, all of those things. So just prioritizing yourself, taking care of yourself, and setting yourself up for success. Now, self-care, if you look it up, it's all over the internet. It's all over TikTok. It's all over YouTube, Instagram. It means so many different things to so many different people. But at the end of the day, it's really just about taking the steps to improve your well-being and achieve, just good health, just overall a good sense of being and feeling good, and knowing that you can be in that place where you're just kind of down and out, but pulling yourself out of it with some good methods, some techniques, good just self-concept of what you need, I guess. What self-care is not is self-indulgence. And self-indulging, I think, just kind of covers up what you really need, or it kind of distances you from what's really going on. And I do believe that we can get something from every experience. You can pull something from it. So I'm not going to come down too hard on the YouTube videos and the TikToks and the Instagrams, and but if you pull that up right now, you're going to find that it's a bunch of people that start self-care out with, we got to go to Target, we got to buy all this product, all this stuff, we got to pour a glass of wine, we got to take some pictures, we got to blog about it, we got to post about it, we got to Snapchat about it, we got to take pictures with it, we have to dress the dogs up, the dog's got to be dressed up, the dog's got to have its sparkling water in the water bowl, you have to have this plush blanket, these plush 500 pillows on your bed or on your couch so you can lay there and be cozy and comfortable, and you have to have 20 or 30 different natural scented types of candles with different combinations that I don't even know how they come up with most of these combinations. You have like tobacco leaves and rose petals, sage wood, mahogany, and taro root. I mean, some of this stuff doesn't even grow in the same area. But somehow they figured out you put it together and it'll fix everything you got going on. Again, not coming down on those folks. We can learn something from all people and interactions. And the one thing that I did pick up, which I do believe is important, I don't know how important it is to me because I don't necessarily need a morning or night routine when it comes to just like your like face washing. I don't wear makeup. I'm assuming if you wear makeup, you need to get that stuff off your face so it doesn't clog pores and things like that. And everyone's skin is different. So I think there is something that you can learn from some of the techniques or some of the products that they use, but don't make it your life. Don't make that the only thing that you feel like you can do or have to do or allowed to do to feel better or to start self-caring, if that makes sense. And hopefully I don't offend anybody. Again, I don't wear makeup. I don't know what it's like to have to clean your face at night before you go to bed. I just use soap and water. My beard takes up half my face, so not much to it. More power to anybody that has to do that. Pick what's right for you. Pick what works. And you should be good. And you do not have to spend a ton of money on self-care. That's the other thing I think that I disagree with. Again, that's self-indulging. You don't even need money for most of it. You just need yourself to unwind and be with yourself. Just physical activity. Physical activity doesn't cost anything. Just getting up, moving around, walking around, preferably outside. The more time we spend outside, the better we feel. There's a bunch of research out there that scientifically proves that spending time in nature is better than some pharmaceuticals. Just for millions of years, we lived outside. Outside is home to us, so get outside. If you do exercise or go to the gym, that's a great way to, keep your mindset in a healthy place. It keeps you could say discipline, or keeps you in having good habits. If you're going to the gym, you're probably eating better and spending less time. You're going to need more sleep, so you're probably sleeping better. Everything always becomes a byproduct of what you're doing right at the beginning. It will take care of itself. Just drinking water, staying hydrated is huge to help you feel better. And then there's just that mental side of it. And that's kind of just being with yourself, being okay with being with yourself, shutting down. And I don't mean shutting down and shutting people out where you're isolating yourself. I'm talking about knowing that you're feeling like your batteries are low, you need to recharge. You just kind of need a break from everything. You've had a couple bad days, a bad week, and you gotta regroup. So you need to just turn off the social media, turn off the TV, maybe turn the lights down low, and just kind of sit there with yourself and think it through. You read a book. Again, write some stuff down. You can write stuff down and throw it away as soon as you write it, but just get it out of your mind onto a piece of paper. It will help. Even coloring. I remember, and as I've gone through this journey of starting the podcast and the psychology and just really devoting my free time and energy into understanding why we do what we do as humans, I think back, and my grandfather kept this barrel. It was like a little mini barrel in the bedroom, and it was full of coloring books, crowns, and colored pencils and everything. And my grandfather would color. And he was, and what sucks is I don't actually have any of the pictures or anything that he, when he passed away. I think that stuff was all given out to, there's so many of us. Everyone got, a little bit of something, and I don't know where all that went, but he would color. And I can remember being a little boy coloring with him, but I was coloring just because I like to color. And he was coloring because he was anxious. Something was making him anxious. And looking back now, I see that that's how he kind of self-cared. He didn't have any other bad habits. He was an amazing man. I spent a lot of time with him. And, he taught me how to hunt. He, one point, tried to get me to chew tobacco because he chewed Red Man, which didn't work out too good. We'd sit out in the front yard, and literally underneath of a tree, he'd be in his rocking chair, which I'd have to go get out of the shed. That rocking chair is in my office right now. I'm looking at it. I refurbished it. And yeah, he would sit out there listening to bluegrass and spitting tobacco juice everywhere, and I would just play, sit on his lap, talk. He'd tell me stories. And, I don't remember exactly everything we talked about, but I do remember a lot. And it's taken me over 40 years to realize that the things he was saying to me and understand how to decipher it. Yeah, I just thought about that. So it's taken me this long to decipher the message that he was actually telling me. And looking back, it's like when I think about my dad, I'm like, man, these guys they knew what they were talking about. And they were not educated, barely made it out of probably middle school and high school. And it was just life and the stresses in life and their environment, and just always pushing through, always making the best of the day, that made these men great. And man, they had some knowledge. it's amazing just to think about the what they were able to tell me back then. And now I feel like I have to spend thousands of dollars on college level classes to learn all this stuff, because that's what the world expects of you. But in reality, I had a coal miner and a construction worker, a roofer, give me better advice than some of the best philosophers and psychologists out there, which is pretty neat. So kudos to those gentlemen. And yeah, I hope everyone has someone like that in their life. You may not know it at the time, but at some point in time, you're going to realize how important it was. So again, back to self-care, the mental piece of it. Spend some time with yourself. Maybe, kind of just practicing that mindfulness, even a little bit of meditation, a little bit of self-hypnosis, even learning a new skill. We as humans, we as a species, enjoy new things, learning. When we are doing things with our hands, when we have to actually think about something, we put a lot of focus into something. We actually learn it. It stays with us. That is a very healthy thing to do. Continue to learn and grow. Talking with a counselor would help. Talking with somebody, talking with a friend, things like that. And then there's that emotional side of self-care. And what does that mean? Well, your emotions are really, they're going to affect your mood. So, you got to look at your relationships with people. The gratitude. There's a lot of research out there, and I've talked about this in the past too, that just watching someone do something nice for someone else will make you feel better. We actually enjoy that more than the physical act of doing something nice for somebody or receiving. So again, it's just that giving, making the folks around you better will make you feel better. And, you could, even watching a funny movie, just laughing, listening to some jokes, ask, Alexa to tell you some jokes, just anything. Again, it's just that the concept of being happy, moving forward, mood, emotions, these things work. Joining a support group, socializing, kind of goes back to talking to somebody, being with people that are in it with you, in it to win it. You definitely don't want to join a group that's, doom and gloom. That's not going to help you. And that's probably what you're trying to get away from. So change of environment. And I've talked about this in the past, kind of taking inventory of the people around you. Do they really need to be around you? Do you really need to be around them? Even it's something I think about a lot. Is I'm in the office that I've been working on, and out of the window I can watch the sunrise in the morning. It kind of comes up over the lake. I can't see the lake, but I can see the sun come up, and it's just neat to watch. It does kind of put you in like a little trance watching it come up, shine through the trees, different colors. And then, again, I have the luxury of watching the sun set by the lake, in the little beach area. And it is nice. It is calming. And it's something that I like to do. I don't do it enough. And I think maybe it's something I'm going to do a little bit more this year, because it's there. I might as well use it, right? And I think maybe sometimes we talked about kind of being alone a little bit and being with yourself, but the gratitude and the doing and giving, sometimes volunteering your time can put you in a better place, put you in a better mood, get you outside of your comfort zone. Just even thank you cards. Someone who does something for you, and I was the worst. I mean, I was horrible, horrible, and I'm not the best now. But buy some thank you cards, some simple stationery, and if someone does something nice, all you have to. I mean, if you don't know what to say, or if you're uncomfortable, or any of that silly stuff that keeps us from always, doing things. Hell, the card says thank you on it. Put it in the envelope and just put your name on there so they know who it's from, and then just give them the card. Start with that. And there you go. You've already made a difference. You've already done something that you were uncomfortable doing. You're moving forward. It will go a long way. Asking for help if you need it. Don't be scared to ask for help. Again, someone speaking from experience, I would never ask anybody for anything. It causes so much pain and stress, and just, it's miserable. If you need help, ask somebody for help. Raise your hand. Hit me up. Seek me out. I am very resourceful. I am very versed in many things. I am the jack of all trades. I can walk you through how to build something, how to repair something, how to fix something, physically, mentally, emotionally. I can help at some level. Hell, I can even send the thank you card for you. Just ask for help. Doesn't matter if it's at work, if it's at home, if it's in a relationship, if it's with a neighbor. Make sure the neighbor's not crazy and doesn't have people tied up in the basement. But you should know that, hopefully, if you're living beside these folks. I mean, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But just be careful. But ask for help. That's all I'm saying. Just ask for help. I don't know. I was going to say listen to music. Listening to music for some folks is very relaxing and very recharging. I love all music. I don't know if it necessarily puts me in a better mood or anything. I like music. Recently I have started learning hypnosis and hypnotic techniques, things like that. And I'm learning more about brain waves and the binary beats, things like that. And again, I don't know if that's going to do anything for me or not. It may for you. It's worth a shot. You can find them on YouTube, Amazon, your phone. And, just kind of just kind of setting the mood, I guess. And again, everything I've talked about so far is absolutely free. So we have not spent any money, and we're taking care of ourselves. We're becoming the best versions of us, helping get out of these tight spots that we're in. I think boundaries is important. Setting boundaries, whether it's at work, at home, with friends, relationships, family, children, spouses, just boundaries. And there's a lot of information out there about setting good boundaries, and I'll put those links in the description. You don't have to be an asshole when you're setting boundaries. And that's not what it's about. It's just about letting everyone know what your limits are and where that line is that they can cross between maybe respect and disrespect, or caring and not caring, And then it's a way that you can put a protective barrier around yourself so you're not being taken advantage of, which is another good way to really put it. Something that I'm definitely guilty of, since we're talking about boundaries and maybe the workplace, just not overworking. For a little while, I was one of those folks that just worked to get away from everything, to escape everything. Although it did help me advance physically and mentally, it didn't do a lot for me. Monetarily, yeah, but that's that'd be the death of everybody. So now I don't even think about it. If I need to leave early, I leave. If I need a day off or a couple days off or whatever it is, I take them. I have no issues whatsoever. I have nothing to prove. My work speaks for itself. I don't think about it. Do I still have good days, bad days? Of course, we all do. Are there times where I have to stay late and get things done? Yes, but it's rare, and those are things that have to for whatever reason. I'm not just doing it to escape it, to not deal with something else. So it's okay. And again, with work, to make it a better place, get to know your coworkers. Find out something about them. Learn something new about each one of them every day. Talk to them. Make small talk. Make that a place that you want to be, since you have to spend so much time there anyways. So again, nothing I've said, nothing we talked about is about spending money. There's a lot of good information out there on self-care. There's a lot of information out there about self-indulging and kind of being selfish. You want to stay away from that. Yes, there's some good things that we can pick up from it. But at the end of the day, don't let that be the end-all, be-all, because it's not truly going to be what helps you long-term. The things that I kind of just talked about, the being with yourself, the being comfortable, understanding why you're there, understanding that you are the one that can get yourself out of that place. This is what's important. Understanding that you have the people around you that need to be there, that you want there, and that you can talk to. And knowing that you're putting the work in to be the best version of you, be the best you every day, and trying to help those folks. And let me back up a minute. We first have to make ourselves the best version of ourselves before we truly can help others. However, in the meantime, you can apply what you're learning to assist others and making their day better, or maybe understand something that you're a little more knowledgeable on, and not pushing it on them, but just offering. And find a way to just offer and let them know, hey, I'm not an expert on this. I say that all the time. I'm not an expert. Hey, I learned something neat the other day. Oh, I read such and such. Have you ever tried this? Or, man, when I start to feel like that, I do this. And that's it. Don't force anything. Don't push anything. Don't force it. And the more you learn, the better you become, the easier it will become to help them let it happen, want it to happen, and then they can make it happen. I'm going to put a PDF in the description from, I believe it is Mississippi State University. It's a kind of a self-care practices. It's an awesome PDF, a lot of good information in there, and I'll have a couple other links for some YouTube videos on some really good self-care tips, short videos, real quick. But at the end of the day, it's kind of the same thing. It doesn't have to cost you any money. It's all about taking care of yourself, getting out with nature, being with yourself, working through your stuff, asking for help, physically staying somewhat in it. It could be just walking, running, lifting, but eating right, nutrition, making sure you're getting your vitamins, making sure you're getting those essential minerals and vitamins that you need. I've talked about those in the past. I'll leave some stuff in the description, but we know what's important by now. And outside of that, thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next one.